Earthblade officially has a trailer. If you tuned into the Game Awards, then you were blessed enough to see its live premiere, which was a very cool experience. The game also now has a Steam page up, and ExOk just posted a blog post about it, so there's a lot for us to cover. I'm going to take you through everything we know about this exploration game set in a beautiful and broken world. First things first, Earthblade is coming in 2024. Over on the game's Steam page, we have a small paragraph that reads, "You are Nevoa, an enigmatic child of fate, returning at long last to Earth." Earthblade's lush pixel art world offers seamless exploration, challenging combat, and countless mysteries to pick apart. Travel the remnants of a ruined world, encounter denizens both friend and foe, and piece together the Earth's fractured history. Oh man, that just makes me so excited. I'd like to talk about a few different things here: gameplay, characters, and the world. So I've broken down this video into different sections for your viewing pleasure. Earthblade is a 2D platformer, which is a very good thing because ExOk is amazing at making platformers, but now they're diving into combat. Our main attack is slashing with the Earthblade, and then we also have a ranged attack, which we got a sneak peek of about a week or so ago on Twitter. Besides combat, there is also running, jumping, double jumping with this tornado gust, and climbing. As predicted, these are portals, which can be used for traveling. After we emerge from this first portal, the character to our right says, "Ah, you travel fate too." So there are other travelers like us in the game, but we don't have much else to go on. We know that Nevoa is a child of fate, although fate probably isn't literally just the name of our parent, but rather some deity or mystical force that we're drawn to. Another pretty major reveal involves character progression. This is what game director Maddie Thorson had to say about that in ExOk's most recent blog post. It does feature character growth and progression. Your moveset is not static as in Celeste. And this totally makes sense in a game like this. It's just nice to see it in writing. We already knew that there would be equipable items to change our stats from this image, so Earthblade is branching out a lot from Celeste and has many more systems coming into play. Now onto the characters. This is the first time we've seen a look at our character, Nevoa. I probably should have looked up whether or not this was an actual name, so my apologies if I am screwing it up. At first, I thought this might be the Greek god Pan because of the horns, but Earthblade isn't based on any pre-existing mythology. We'll let Hades 2 handle the Greek stuff. Let's talk about the opening shot. Nevoa is laying in a mystical field, asleep, with swirly blue clouds surrounding them. I'm gonna guess that this scene might come from the opening cinematic of the game, where we awaken in a strange land after realizing we possess some strange and magical powers. Or we are finally freed from some centuries-long slumber after being cursed by a strange being. Or something like that. You know, typical video game stuff. It might be nothing, but the blue bracelets on our ankles and wrists could have something to do with our portal power. They very briefly glow with a blue light when we activate this portal at the end. Just something to think about. Now here's a better look at the two character portraits we have so far. On the left is the character we saw in the beginning of the trailer, and the one shown on the right can also be seen in this screenshot. We've also seen a sneak peek of them in this picture. The art style here feels familiar, yet also somehow fresh. I'm not exactly sure why my brain is landing on those words, but I still love it. It reminds me a little bit of stained glass or paint by the numbers, the way that all the colors have their own bold outlines. And can we just talk about the portrait borders? They help to differentiate these two characters, their personalities, and their possible roles within the game. One of them seems regal and celestial, the other grounded and in tune with nature. It's an extra bit of flair that adds so much to these interactions. So altogether, I'm getting major tattoo portrait vibes. I'm not sure what this style is called, but I'm sure they drew at least some inspiration from this kind of art. I suppose it feels familiar and fresh to me because I've seen styles similar to this, but never done in a way that has so much color and detail. I also like that their portraits are partially animated, which also gives them some more personality. And there are 2 other characters that we have seen before, but they're not shown in this trailer. Now, the part of this whole thing that I'm most interested in is the world itself. ExOk went with a one-take style shot that pans past different environments or biomes, each with its own style. I'm gonna make up some names here as we go. First, there's the blue crypt that we initially teleport into. Below that and to the right is the gnarled and infected forest. Heading down still is the poison swamp, and to the right of that is the ancient snake temple, which contains the snake church. Now we head up through an overgrown jungle, keep going, and there's the forest in the foothills with some lovely mountains in the background. Nestled away there is the second portal, which we use to travel to our next destination. There are also 2 other areas shown in the game's screenshots on Steam. One is the giant plant biome, where we meet the green-haired character. The other is the rusty chain biome, which sees the return of Celeste's sparkly poison clouds. That was a lot to take in, I know, but it was done this way on purpose. Maddie had a bit more to add to this in the blog post. When we did the original vibe reveal for Earthblade, we made sure to mention the game's seamless world, but reading the word isn't really the same as seeing the free-roaming, dynamically loading map in action. So all of these areas are connected to each other, just how they're shown with no loading or individual levels like they had in Celeste. She also said, "We think that this seamlessness will likely be Earthblade's defining feature, and it's related to why we hesitate to call this game a Metroidvania. Structurally, it doesn't feel quite right to promise something that fits nicely in line with those storied Metroids and Vanias." She notes that things could change here with the genre names, but they're still going with the term exploration for now. And that's perfectly fine. I totally understand not wanting to call a game one thing and then it turns out to be something else. That happens all too often in this industry. I am thinking of making a more in-depth trailer analysis kind of video if I can find enough to say, but there are some other games I want to talk about on this channel before I do that. So by the time I get to it, we might have some more Earthblade news. Who knows? Whatever happens though, know that I absolutely will be covering this game into next year and up to its launch in 2024. And now, I'll leave you with a final quote from Maddie. "Making and releasing this trailer has given us a big morale boost and made the game feel a lot more real and finishable. There is a light at the end of this long tunnel, it turns out."